Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? Peasant Chat. We talk to poor people every Sunday at 9:30 in the morning because, we want to make sure that we get the day started, done before you go to church or whatever the fuck you do. Today, specifically, we're going to talk about OEM parts being better quality than the aftermarket parts. I've seen a lot of people upgrade parts on specifically a Mustang. Let's be honest, we kind of are here because of the Mustang. And they upgrade something that doesn't need upgrading, and then they end up having a premature failure on said part. On Patreon, somebody talked about an overflow tank being worse quality than a stock tank. And I think a lot of people are under the impression that a aftermarket part automatically is better than an OEM part. We'll talk about parts, and maybe you guys can chime in on parts that you thought were better because they were aftermarket, and they ended up being actually worse because they were aftermarket. I also have a bit of an update. Doug DeMuro actually talked about the reason that WhistlinDiesel might be on the hook for the tax stuff, and it's something I didn't even think about. We'll talk about plenty of that. So we'll talk about many of those things, and not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. But you know what doesn't suck? Is the sponsors. Cyber Monday is coming up, so I'm sure a lot of these guys are going to have Cyber Monday sales. Black Friday came and went, so check out Cyber Monday deals. DNAPformance.com, your online parts house source for any parts. Aftermarket parts, hopefully they're better than OEM parts. DNAP Performance is going to get you 4 innovations, fuel systems, blowers, turbos, superchargers, wheels and tires, injectors, you name it, DNAPformance.com. Belgian wheels, that's right. I want to run their lightweight series VF5. Waiting for them to come in. I'll give you a nice little review on what's going on there. Check out their Cyber Monday deals. They have like hundreds of dollars off of wheels, and we'll show you right after I'm done talking about the sponsors. PMAS, Nick James, PMAS, best colder intakes, the PMAX X-Math that's going to be coming out for the Fox body. I think you guys should take a look at that. And, cold air. I have actually issues with making cold airs, and they have nice little couplers and build your own DIY cold air kits. Check them out. PMAS, Nick James, PMAS. Parts Farm, PartsFarm.com. Used Mustang, Camaro, truck, Charger, Challenger parts, wheels, tires, you name it, anything you can think of, used stuff from Parts Farm. They deliver. It's basically a junkyard that delivers the parts to your house. 2-Auto Solution, Rami Zedon, 2-Auto Solution, got into the F-150 game. Love to hear it. Hopefully we can get them set up with the Magnuson supercharger so we can make that truck run in the 9 to show the Puerto Ricans that it's relatively easy to do. And Bellac Industries, that's right. He fucks with boats. He fucks with wheels and tires. People are copying his wheels and tires, and no shame. F-150 guys, no fucking shame. They literally have no shame. They're like, drop the link for the Alibaba wheels. I'm like, bro, you guys got no fucking shame. Anyway, if you want to support the show and get some merchandise, you can go to richprince.com/YDBT. YDBT hats, Amory hats, YDBT and Amory trucker hats, Dolo hats, shiesties. It's cold somewhere, not here in Florida, but you might be able to use a shiesty and rep the show. Section 8 shirts and hoodies, Hush Money shirts and hoodies, ZR50 shirts and hoodies, Booty Juice, Elote Juice shirts and hoodies, Save the Manos, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, GT350, S650, 85 to 86, 87 to 93, 1320 Didios, F1320, YDBT and Emery shirts, hoodies of all kinds. Check them out. We also got YDBT, ZR50 stickers, Elote Juice, Booty Juice, and Dolo sweaters, shirts, and hoodies. And again, like I talked about, Belgian has sales going on, $300 off lightweight series Mustang wheels, $400 off Infinity wheels. These are another set of lightweight series wheels. Cherokee lightweight series, Ford Explorer lightweight series, wide body Mopar, truck series wheels, and F-150 wheels. Check out Belgian wheels. I love the fact that they decided to come on board and, trust us with their product. Let's say hi to the people here, and we'll talk some shit for a little bit. Bryson Witt, Joe Swish, Lemonade, Bryson Witt, Monty 40, Diego, Wesley Stewart, Carlife, Yusuf, Nick Notch, B. Lavesh, Frank Donahue, Anthony, Coyote Kelly, Clean 93 GT, Sixsuki, Clean 93 GT, EPA, Amory, Mr. Cookie Man himself, Cobra 460, Clint Stroke, The Wolf, Mini by Madman, 94 GT Vert, Matt Oliver, Red Rum, Nardi Mercado, Slick, J. Judd, Slick, Semi-retired She Racer, JD Swag, Merc Shang, James Card Killer, AJ USA's, Craig Walls, Billet Noonan himself, John Bonanno, 5-0 year, wow. Donnie Renfro, he posted a video of an exhaust that he's exhaust setup that he put in his F-150. I'm hoping that he just keeps dropping videos of little things here and there. Again, you're not going to get views right away. It's going to take a while, but you'll have them in the tank and people can go back like I do with the YOLO videos. People are like, oh my God, go back 10 years to YOLO videos, and they start coming up on your feed. CPR Andrew, RoboStyle, Phil Fez, I'm Hung Solo, Yanni, Reverend Racing, Smasher Devour, Garrett Tayton, the Sean Official, Alfredo Diaz, Azali, Alfredo Diaz again, Richie Rich says Morning Amory, Backdraft, TJ Skorsky, Ken McAllister, Josh Warner, SK Jeff, Anthony Rafferty, the Sean Official, Minibad Madman, F-150 RCSB, Blue Thunder, Mike, Max, Diego, WKRP, Ale Al Husseini, and wow, I got all the way to the end. Holy shit, Harrison Clark. So a lot of you guys probably buy parts thinking that they're better than OEM, and you quickly figure out that they're not. Oil pump gears to me is like the overwhelming, like the clearest example of an aftermarket part that isn't necessarily better, and I'll talk about that. So your balancer butts up against your crank sprocket, right? So the aftermarket crank sprockets sometimes are beveled on one end and not beveled on the other end, or sometimes they have a tiny little step and not allowing that crank sprocket to bottom against the shoulder of the crank. The crank has basically a shoulder. The crank sprocket slips up against that and drives the chains. Now, if the bevel is in the wrong spot and you can fit a 10,000 shim back there, well, think about that thing spinning. Again, if the balancer is butted up against it, but there's a tiny gap behind the crank sprocket, what ends up happening is you end up having basically a gap. And no matter how secure of a bolt you have on the balancer, if you have enough tension on it with a supercharger or anything that runs off of the front cranks now, or even, believe it or not, I've seen turbo applications where they're on the two-step and just the shaking of the two-step or the bump and the trans brake, shakes that balancer a little bit if the crank sprocket isn't cut properly. So a lot of people automatically start replacing parts that I don't think need replacing. This show has advocated leaving the stock oil pump gears and crank sprocket in there for a while, unless you go big boost. If you're at 10 PSI, guys, you're not going to have an issue. A lot of the factory vehicles that are offered with superchargers, they probably make at most 12 PSI. And I don't think there's enough tension on the crank. And I don't think that factory Ford vehicles run a blower off of the front ribs of their balancer. They run it off of the rear, the one closest to the motor, for very obvious reasons. Leverage, right? If you have tension closer to the crank than further from the crank, there's less of a chance of, putting extra strain on the crank and having issues. But with the aftermarket, they put in a ESS, Pro Charger, anything that once you put big boy tension on it, like you guys, I see a lot of you guys buy these aftermarket tensioners, and I'm like, the tensioner is only there to take up the slack. The tensioner just takes up the slack. The belt, when it stretches, it just takes up the slack. But if you're putting a lot of pressure on that belt, and then it takes up the slack in a more aggressive fashion, and then when you let off, that tighter spring, that extra tension brings the belt back to where it should be, but under tension. Where in my opinion, the spring should be loose enough to just take up the slack and, put some tension on it. But if you put so much tension on it that on diesel, it fights because of the tightness of the tensioner, I'm like, well, that's just going to fuck everything up. So I think belt wrap is more important than tension on those applications. And let's be honest, when you want to make big power on a supercharged application, you got to start thinking about supporting that crank, like putting some kind of situation on that crank pulley or balancer so that if it does decide to deflect a little bit, you have a mechanical mechanism keeping it from flexing too much. My white S197 Collier has a MFP crank support on it, and it doesn't see 30 PSI. I think it sees 22 or 23 PSI at most with the with the Gen 3R that's on it, and it has a 2.8 upper. It doesn't have a murder, death, kill pulley. It has a 2.8 upper and a 10% lower. So technically I can get away with more boost. My Odin situation, basically it's an Odin that Magnuson casts with the twin inlet. I don't have any crank support on it, and I was seeing 20 plus PSI, and so far so good. So we'll see what happens there if I do eventually end up needing something. But again, it runs the blower off of the rear ribs. So aftermarket parts generally are not better than OEM parts, because let's be honest, especially when it comes to motor parts. And we're talking Coyote stuff. Like, we're not talking Fox body. We're not talking an LT1 from 1990 something. I'm talking about modern stuff. Modern stuff is very, very efficient, very robust, and it has a lot of vetting and testing behind it for longevity. I think boosted applications are only tested up to a certain power number, because Ford's like, why would you boost it any higher? Then the aftermarket's like, just shove a 3.8 Whipple on it. It'll be fine on 55s. Then you got aftermarket tuners telling you, run E85 on 55s. Just lean on that DI a little more. Lean on the DI. What about fuel pressure when it drops to 20 PSI? Just blend it. Just shove it all to the DI side. That will be the fix. And I'm just like, wow, these people actually believe what they're saying. I don't know that the aftermarket does enough testing. I don't know that the aftermarket has to offer a warranty. The aftermarket does not have to sit behind their product for 5 years, 60,000 miles, or 3 years, 36. They just have to say it's lighter and it'll perform better. And if it does that and it gives up reliability in the name of performance, then I guess so be it, right? A lot of you guys see these aftermarket K members and stuff like that. You think those K members will last 100,000 miles in Northeast pothole-filled roads and varying weather conditions? Would you take a race K member, put it on your car, and think it'll be fine when one day it is 20 degrees and bunch of potholes somewhere in Massachusetts, and then that summer it gets up to 95 and you have the same potholes? What do you think the ball joints, what do you think the hardware, what do you think the bushings and everything are going to be like after a while? Those parts are made for performance, so they don't really have reliability in line or with their thinking. So a lot of people that buy aftermarket parts are like amazed and confused that they don't last nearly as long. And I'm like, well, they're not meant to. They're performance parts. They have lightweight materials, exotic bushings and exotic bullshit, but no one ever did longevity. What aftermarket does longevity testing on their product? Maybe 2 or 3, but not to the tune of what the OEMs do. Not even close. So people are like, oh my God, holy shit. They're shocked that their overflow tank weld's busted. I'm like, it says Mishimoto on it. What'd you expect? Oh, Mishimoto stuff's really good. Cool. The OEM one, well, the OEM one gets a little cloudy. I don't like how my OEM one looks. It's cloud. Is it leaking? No. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Just run it, stupid. So, Doug DeMuro talked about the WhistlinDiesel situation on the tax stuff. And he said something that I didn't know. A lot of states have plate readers. Plate readers, meaning little cameras that read your license plate, and they basically, look, Big Brother is here. You can't leave the house without being tracked either by your phone, your watch, or the cameras out there. So you can't commit a murder and really get away with it in modern times unless you just totally go off grid. So apparently in Tennessee, if you've had the car in the state for 30 days, they require you to register in that state. Well, Doug DeMuro said they were tracking Homeboy via plate readers. So they, flock cameras, right? Flock cameras are plate readers where they're just like, oh, look, November 1st, he had the car in his property, and we saw the car again December 12th. So they don't have to see you every single day, right? They don't have to see you every single day. Well, I need to see you November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, blah, 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 blah. They assume it's been here for more than 30 days because we saw it on November 12th or November 1st. And then the next time we saw it on the flock cameras was December 12th in this state, assuming a month went by. It's not like you get a number of days in the state. No, it's not like I was here November 1st and then I left. So that's only one day. And then I came back December 12th and that's second day. It is a time period. So if they saw your car with a flock camera or a plate reader on November 1st and then December 12th, and you did not register the car in the state, they got you. And that's something I never thought of because I register the cars in the state I live in. I never even have to worry about that shit. I just go, okay, that's interesting. So a lot of the comments on my videos were people defending him. And look, I don't want him to go to jail. I don't want him to pay fines. But if he committed the tax evasion they're accusing him of, yeah, of course he should pay up. Of course. I don't know why you would defend that. If there is a law that he violated and they can prove via flock cameras or plate readers that he violated the law, then pay up. Because what a lawsuit. What an absolute lawsuit would the state of Tennessee be facing if they arrested him without any kind of evidence to back it up? Like they had a warrant. That means they had to present the evidence to a judge. A judge had to issue a warrant, and then they had those people serve the warrant. And I know a lot of you guys defend homeboy. Again, I don't have a dog in this fight, but he's basically rich as fuck. And you guys that say, well, he's one of us. No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay? These guys get rich on YouTube and they start doing rich guy shit. Right? How about you guys? Tell me how many of you right here that make under $100,000 defend WhistlinDiesel, registered your cars in a state somewhere else that has a lower tax rate than your current state. Go. I'm sorry, none of you? Right, because that's what rich people do. So now you've been made to believe that he's one of you guys. Hell, some of you guys watch millionaire. Some of you guys watch millionaire YouTubers do millionaire shit and defend it as if he's one of the people. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, that's rich guy behavior. I thought you guys hated the rich, eat the rich, fuck the rich. They're rich and they're flaunting it in your face and they're getting caught for doing rich guy stuff. So I kind of find it goofy when people defend him as if he was one of them, and he is absolutely not. So I was just like, wow. Again, you, regular person, go out and register your car in Montana if it's legal, set up an LLC, and it'll actually affect you more than others. Let's say I have a ZR1, I have a GT500. Those two are like the highest end vehicles I have. I for sure can save money. I could have saved money. It's already registered in Florida. If I registered them elsewhere in an LLC like New Hampshire, Montana, or whatever, right? I would have benefited a lot instead of paying the sales tax these vehicles at. Yeah, I remember the Corvette was like $4,000 or $3,000 or something like that. I was like, fuck, the GT500 was big money when I had to register it here. Big money. Even the lady looked at me when she looked up the numbers and she went, I'm so sorry. It's going to be like $2,300 to register your car here. And I said, okay. And she goes, and I had a check ready. You know, how much? $2,364 and whatever cents. Here you go. And she was like, oh, yeah, I didn't trip. Could I have registered it somewhere else and saved a shitload of money? Abso-freaking-lutely. But, you know, I played by the rules. I guess I'm a rule follower. Call me whatever. Call me a bootlicker. Call me whatever you want. But you know what? One thing that's not going to happen in my case, a cop's not going to show up to my door and say, you are evading taxes. That's definitely not going to be the thing. So we can talk about a couple of things. What are parts that you thought were better than factory parts that you ended up finding out the hard way that they were not? They have flock cameras now. They measure sound and will send you a ticket if you exceed the decibels. It says BMR on it. That's funny. The flock cams are insane. A lot of police vehicles have plate readers now. F-150 daily in the Midwest, aluminum or carbon or stock drive shaft. Daily? Stock. You said daily. Like, I'm blown away. And you know what? One of the craziest things I hear too when people say daily, I want a reliable daily 800 horsepower setup. Okay, let's talk about that. That's a mouthful. You are not driving around using the 800 horsepower if your car is at 800 horsepower, right? You're just idling around, tooling around, and if you need 800 horsepower, it's ready to go right there. Assuming you have the octane, assuming you have the fueling, assuming you have the proper boost to make that kind of power, any power adder can make 800 horsepower reliably, given the fact that you use it 99% of the time like a normal ass person. Now, if you turn on your car and you do a drift out the driveway and you go watt all the way to work and you bounce it off the rev limiter and drift it into the parking lot and do the same thing on the way home, that 800 horsepower becomes really unreliable really fast. So it's how you use it that determines how reliable a setup is. I installed plate readers at the Miami airport 10 years ago. Cops had cams on their cars even back then. Little boxes on top of their trunks. Tolls when you go shopping, parking enforcement. They have access to satellite photos too. The state uses them when they accuse you of home upgrades without you pulling permits, and just check satellite imaging of your home. I didn't think they were that bad. I always see people get them. They're public accessible though. You can pull them up. Accessible. Oh, really? The flock cameras are publicly accessible. He's about to FAF. Oh, yeah, TSS or Ford Racing, when it comes to oil pump gears and crank sprockets, I don't know that FFRE is going retail with their stuff yet. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't. I just don't think there's enough meat on the bone there when there's companies out there just whoring out their product for $200 or something like that. I would just say, you know what? When you get one of our engines built, it's going to get our oil pump gear. When you get one of our motors done up, it's going to get our crank sprocket. It's going to get our, stud kit. It's going to get our main caps. It's going to get our cam caps. It's going to get our shit. And the only way you can get our shit is if you buy a motor from us. And I think that's super smart because you control your product. You control the quality control. You control the installation. Because what happens 99% of the time, people blame your product. They installed it like shit. Many times have I seen somebody do an oil pump gear or crank sprocket upgrade, and then they reuse the stock balancer and the stock bolt. That's a one-time use bolt. And then a lot of people blame their not using a certain product for their failure. I saw somebody the other day blame the fact that they did not have a crank saver bolt on their car, and that's why the crank snapped. I'm like, wait a minute, that bolt wouldn't have saved you. I guarantee the bolt is probably still in the crank, right? The bolt is probably still in the snout, or did it walk out? Meaning, did you not have it bottomed out properly? A crank saver bolt isn't going to protect you from a bad installation. So a lot of these parts that get sold and then get blamed for issues are a high percentage of the time the installation itself. So if I was a FFRE, I'd be like, you know what? We're not going to go retail with this stuff. We'll just leave it alone. He was one of us, 10,000 subs. After that, the dude was all about the money. He ain't one of you at all. How many of us can afford to wreck a Ferrari just cause? Right. But the defense, and again, a lot of you guys defend all of these millionaire YouTubers. And I'm just like, wait a minute. They're doing millionaire shit. And you're like, yeah, he's one of us. No, he's not. They would just look at you and go, get the fuck out of here. Leave me alone. They don't care about you. But you're out there hardcore defending people doing millionaire stuff. And you're like, that's like the amount of people defending a millionaire registering their vehicle in Montana. And this is what they use. They say, well, other millionaires do it. My father, God rest his soul, he would say, if a bunch of dumb motherfuckers jump off a bridge, are you going to do it just because they do it? I go, no. He goes, right. They're doing stupid things. Why would you follow suit? Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, just because those guys are jumping off the bridge doesn't mean you have to jump off the bridge. So I was always, even though Dad was not a rule follower, Dad was the opposite of a rule follower, but he definitely instilled, I don't know, some kind of morals in me, like just stay out of trouble. Okay, pay your taxes, register your cars where they need to be, don't do stupid shit, and you'll generally be in good, you'll be good. And you know what? I don't know, I'm 47 years old and, knock on wood, not arrested for anything stupid because I haven't done anything stupid. And when I do stupid things and get caught, I deserve them. Like when I was going 130 miles an hour, got caught, pulled over. Yes, sir. No, sir. $1,100 fine. 3 month, not probation. It's like a period where they're watching you. Go do the schooling and you should be good to go. And your license is clean and you are good. And I did. That was it. Reliable doesn't mean bulletproof. I'm so sorry. Where did you register the GT500? In Guadalajara. Exactly. The same people that register their cars in Montana are the same ones that do giveaways and make a quick buck. And the people that complain about giveaways, not working, are my favorite type of people. Doug is an extreme liberal millionaire writer that just happens to be one of the best car reviewers on the internet. Forget his political views. Who gives a shit about that? Is he right about this? See, I don't discount people's political leanings and then determine whether they're right or wrong specifically on this subject matter, because he's right. He's like, they got plate readers, they got you. And in the car space, I don't think politics matters. I mean, it matters if you're complaining about electric cars. Like if you are a car reviewer like Doug DeMuro and you're like, I hate this electric car phase. Well, you being liberal and the electric car stuff, which is interesting. When you actually look up how much it costs to charge your electric vehicle, it's not cheap. It's not cheap, especially if you use a supercharger. Actually, you can make the case that it's more expensive because of how you get the electricity there. But there are cases where someone has a complete solar situation at their house and they have a battery backup. But again, that costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars to set up. But in that person's specific case, it doesn't cost them shit. That's why you roll around on the 2.4. You never know when someone wants the smoke. I should have went with a Ford Illuminator than a TKM piston slap motor. I love you guys. I've advocated for one engine builder, Aftermarket. He's not only been right by me, he's been legit, consistent. And you know how hard it is to be consistent for this long? And then when an issue happens with one of their engines, and again, mistakes happen, so I understand they could fuck something up, but it's how they treat you afterwards, how the mistake gets fixed. But when you see the root cause of certain issues on FFRE motors, it's usually the user. It's usually the person installing it, tuning it, blah, 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 blah. It's contact at the end of the day. YouTube is infected with shallow endeavors. Joe L&M makes them. It fills the gap. Even the Joker pays his tax. OEM plus, or be prepared to replace your race car parts weekly, monthly, and yearly on your daily. When I was a young guy, 18 to 23, I started going, wait a minute. I always thought race car parts last longer than OEM parts. And I remember buying a set of lower control arms. I think they were South Sides or something. The old school ones that had the adjustable spring perch. Cool shit. I like the Fox body days because the 90s was wild. The 90s were, the cars were designed by people that were coked up. The race car parts were starting to blend old school technology with new school technology. So you would see a set of 9010s, 5050s, and then Lakewood slapper bars on the same vehicle. And you're like, what the fuck is happening, right? So you'd see two different schools of thoughts. But I think that was the coolest time because to this day, you could build a car in the late 90s era and have it perform just as good as some of the new stuff now because the technology was just right for that specific chassis. Now, at the extreme level, where when you see a Fox body like Pro 275, that's not a Fox body. That's a shell on top of a tube chassis. Let's be honest. So, I don't even count those. But when I see like a Fox body, get after it, run in the 8s, and have relatively low mods in terms of suspension and stuff, you kind of see why a lot of people gravitate towards that chassis. But I bought a set of Lakewood slapper bars, and like a lot of the mounting points and joints started just wearing prematurely. But again, I was in Massachusetts, so there's salt on the roads, there's potholes everywhere. So, I was like, I think they prioritize materials in terms of being light, Heim joints, and then salt in them. And look, I think when it comes to race car stuff, that they assume your car is only racing, right? Remember, when you go to a track, it's a smooth surface. It's a burnout box straight ahead, and the only bumps you're going to see are on the way back from Bradenton. And mud. Like, that's a great thing about Bradenton. You can test your car in a race surface and a regular Northeast surface, because on the return road, you're going to see so many bumps and mud and shit everywhere that you can test out both ends of the parts. You can test like how they drive on the street on the return road and how they perform on a racetrack. Ordered FFRE OPG for the short block there, doing it for peace of mind. I didn't know that they sell them. Imagine making less than $40,000 a year and donating money to a millionaire. I first watched him destroy a Jeep and then a couple of HC trucks and then stopped watching. Look at what he did recently. He recently put out a video of a cheap truck challenge. I saw the clips. I did not watch the video because he lost me. I was watching the Toyota Hilux stuff. I thought that was really cool. He did a, what's the Honda Ridgeline durability test. I thought that was good. And then I saw an F-250, like a blue F-250 diesel that he was fucking with. And I think that's it. I kind of was just like, all right, this is not my thing, because the kid was just flaunting how much money he had in a pseudo sarcastic way. And it just put me off. I was like, I don't like this kid. Radioactive Fabrications for the $100. Thank you so much. Holy shit. Why'd you give me $100? What are you doing? You already are a member on Patreon, but Radioactive, shout out. I got to talk to you a bit. I got to talk to you. I'm gonna hit you up on Patreon about something I saw online. Had to hide in Puerto Rico after a bar fight. Definitely not 100% a rule follower. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, my father. Okay, so I was born in Massachusetts, and at 9 months old, we ended up moving to Puerto Rico. And I always wondered why we went back to Puerto Rico. Like, why would you go back to Puerto Rico? Look, a lot of you guys that are out there that are Puerto Rican, that have this dream of returning to Puerto Rico to retire, shut the fuck up. It's over. Puerto Rico barely has electricity. They're bankrupt. It is a corrupt nation, and the only reason it's staying afloat is either drug money and U.S. money. They are just absolutely corrupt. There is no reason to go back to Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans can't save it. Puerto Ricans are leaving by the thousands, and they're just populating Kissimmee, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina. So that shit's over. So I wondered why the fuck we went to Puerto Rico when I was 9 months old in 1978. And my father said, well, we were at a bar. So my father was a very good pool player. Excellent. He came in like number 2nd in some kind of national tournament in Puerto Rico. So he was playing 9-ball, I guess. So he lost the first game on purpose. And I guess in 9-ball, when you on the break sink the 9-ball, you win. So the story goes, my father lost the first game, and my father said double or nothing on the second game. Guy agreed. My father, bam, slammed the 9-ball in on the break. Guy started calling him out on being a pool shark. And my father, you remember those little Swiss Army knives? Little red Swiss Army knives that had like a corkscrew and a screwdriver and a file? Well, he must have been, he's like, he took it out, of course, very Puerto Rican of him, and took it out. And he's like, son, hey, I'm out of here. And we took off. And I was like, oh, that's why we went to Puerto Rico? He said, yeah. Then when you were about 6, that's when the heat died down. That's before, I don't know if he was dead or not. So once you came back, it was all good. I can't stand Doug DeMuro. Doug also doesn't talk about politics on his car channel. When you make your money in the public eye, expect all of your actions to be scrutinized. What's up, Mr. Fat House? How you doing, John Lucas? FFRE to LM only. I saw Grey Goose is running the Christmas tree race. No, they're not. I hope they're not. I hope they're not. I might have a problem with that whole situation. We don't have to have a talk. They can do whatever they want, but I can do whatever I want. The only way you can circumvent is literally having split residence, which in his situation won't help now. I know people who have houses in Massachusetts and Florida. They register everything in Florida and split time. Yeah, but see, you have 2 residences. See, there's a difference between putting an LLC in Montana and never living there than to have 2 homes. Like if I buy a house in Georgia and I bring my Florida cars to Georgia and they're like, "Hey, why do you have your cars here?" I go, I have a house in Florida also." And then maybe if the state says, "Well, if they're garaged here for 3 months, you got to register them here." So then I'd have a decision to make, okay, right? They'd be like, "Well, we think you're evading Georgia taxes by only having your cars registered in Florida." But I'm like, "But I have a residence in Florida. I live in Florida and I visit my vacation home in Georgia." So that would be interesting. I don't know those laws. So that's an interesting thing to talk about. WhistlinDiesel should be grateful that he became rich by destroying cars in his country and just pay it and move on. I'm telling you, he is poking the wrong bear. He is going after government and poking his nose at it with the whole, what's the name of that guy? The Killdozer situation. I'm like, you don't think you're on some kind of list? I had the same issue with an aftermarket throwout bearing where the car starts slipping to find out the OEM part is more durable. Interesting. I got a flat camera red light ticket in Sarasota, Florida the other day. $135. Doesn't go against my license. We can all thank idiots who voted these cameras to be constitutional. Yeah. I don't even like Puerto Ricans here. I would never go back. And born and raised there. Right? I have not met a Puerto Rican that left Puerto Rico. No, I'm sorry. I'm lying. I have met many Puerto Rican, mostly women, because women are retarded and don't know anything, that left Puerto Rico and say how awesome it is. Why don't you fucking go back if it's so awesome? What the fuck you doing here? If it's so awesome and you hate the United States so much and you hate Papi Trump, fucking go back. Shit. Aftermarket is cheap until you have to replace it a second time with an OEM part. No one ever puts a price on labor either. Even if you do it yourself, it still costs you something. Alejandro, I have a Gen 2 S550 and I put in a Walbro improved GT supercar fuel pump. Can I make 550 on E85 with factory plumbing and wiring? Well, D'Angelo, if you have a Gen 2 S550, in order for you to make 550 wheel on E85, I think you have enough fuel system. Yes. I would do because think about it. A 600 horsepower Roush has a boosted pump and an LU47 stock pump. So yes, your fueling is enough. E85, I would still do a boosted pump. But 550, we're talking about NA or boosted. I would not chase 550 NA. I don't give a fuck what league you're in. I don't give a fuck what town you're in. I don't give a fuck if you're in love with NA. I think 550 is just stupid, naturally aspirated to the wheel on any Mustang. So he poked holes in bro because he was swindling him? Yeah. Yeah, dad was the issue there. Dad was the issue there. Any thoughts on why nitrous isn't as prevalent as turbo? We've talked about it a billion times. The statement still stands. Money will always follow real estate, oil paintings, commerce. Why go through the headaches to save? Everybody here drop ships from China, from mugs to appliances. Why? What the fuck is he talking about? Just pay the taxes and fight the charges. Even if the Pelosi's pay their California tax on their questionable attained wealth. That's interesting. Just like the New Yorkers moving to Florida and saying New York is better. Look, Nardi Mercado, I've seen New Yorkers come down here and complain about Florida. Now, I had internal discussions with myself about that. I was like, you know what? Everyone here's dumb. Everyone here's stupid. But that doesn't mean that I have to like point it out. It just means like, okay, take it for what it's worth. You're going to wait longer to get served. You're going to find really dumb people, and the work ethic is not here. That's just an amazing stat about Florida. There are not hardcore workers here. It's very difficult to find good labor. Ask Jake. Jake had to move to Stuart, Florida. His whole operation moved to Stuart, Florida. And he's like, Alex, people up here work. I'm like, right, because where were you at before? West Palm Beach, next to the airport. And there ain't nobody looking to work that job. And then you go up to Stuart, and people are like, yeah, shipping department had plenty of applicants. You know, the had plenty of people doing production work. But once I didn't act better than the people down here. I just took it for what it's worth, understood where I was. And where was I? I was in a place that 75% of the time is over 75 degrees, great weather. and good food, good food. Like if you're a New Yorker and you want a bagel, fuck yourself. All right, immerse yourself in the food that's available down here. If you want a great bagel, go ship them. I don't give a fuck. I have actually found good pizza places here. They're hard to find. There's a place, Leonardi's, on PGA and A1A. Fucking great. And I'm like, this is awesome. But again, I can't go there too much because then, you know, this beautiful physique goes away. 550 behind the balls, horsepower, says Anthony. I bought a max effort NA 37. I'm done. I bought a max effort NA 37 Mustang, and guess what? The engine is hurt. Now, he poked him because he felt disrespected for being called a cheater. No, my dad poked him because the guy called him out appropriately. My father wasn't a fair guy. My father got in a lot of fights, and he caused the fights. He caused most of the fights he got into. And I'm like, but Dad, you're the one instigating this. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. But don't you do the thing. Do as I say, not as I do. That's how my father lived his life. How the hell do you get 550 horsepower NA without some type of boost? Okay, you can, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. We're talking about high compression. We're talking about crazy camshafts. We're talking about port work up the ass. You can do it. It's just by the time you price out what it took to build a 550 rear wheel horsepower Coyote, you would be like, I could have done this with a big block Ford way cheaper. NA. Small block Ford, 550 wheel, 460 cubic inch on pump gas. That's questionable because you need some compression, but you have the displacement. LT, LS, way easier, way cheaper. A Coyote at 550 wheel, you have to hate money. 550 NA must be running that burn your eyes fuel nitro 50/50. Correct. Invest in pizza on a leaf. You know, she probably hates my guts for saying that, but when she said that, I was blown away by that. I might do a dating channel tonight if I get froggy. I don't know. I always say that and then I never do it. Are you eyeballing South Georgia for a second home or shop? I've been eyeballing houses in South Georgia. Dude, you can get a pad for $375. I'm saying an acre or more, 4-3, 2-car garage. But the problem is it's Valdosta or something. It's like in the middle of nowhere. But I can't buy that here. And I want to be close to a track. So I've dabbled with the idea of buying a house because if you earn a certain amount of money, you need something to offset it, and a house would be perfect. But not a house in Florida. The taxes here are very high, and you're going to buy a house for at least $675, and you're nowhere near a track. And I don't want to buy a house anywhere near Bradenton because I don't like that fucking track at all. And I don't want to buy a house in Orlando because I don't like that track at all. But when you go north more, you're like, you get more for your money, and you're next to a track, and the owner I support. But then you're crazy to buy a house just for the track. But if you buy a house that you think you can sell, not flip, if shit goes downhill, it has to be a house like families like something that is palatable to a big percentage of buyers. I would do that. And the houses are like super cheap. And I'm like, man, I thought about it. So, we'll see. When he pulled out of that Swiss knife, dude held up and accidentally pulled out a fork? Well, that's funny. Just get a 350 if you want an NA Mustang. I paid $2,600 for that max effort Coyote. Oh, to Coyote swap it. By the time I sell it off the aftermarket parts, will basically be free. Does the guy that built the 14-1 compression 5.5 stroke with billet Frankenstein intake with a burst panel? Oh, by the way, it's NA. Yeah, come on, stop it. I'm looking forward to dating channel live if you do it. Me too. There's a lot to talk about. He's about to go bye-bye. EP Emery, yes, you should do that and stop spamming the chat. Yeah, D'Angelo, don't be fucking texting nonstop. Do it once, and if I get to it, cool. If you really want me to see your shit, pay. It is the peasant chat. Just bought 3-acre with big 2-bed house in Louisiana for $260. 30 minutes, no problem raceway. Gulf Coast is underrated. I thought about it. I thought about buying a house in the about 30 minutes away from South Georgia Motorsports Park. And the houses there are unbelievable. Unbelievable for what you get for your money. And I could pay for that bitch no problem. Like, no problem. But the problem is, right, I almost don't want to do it just to piss off the people that don't see me in a house. Imagine if I have this and a 4.3 with an acre with a 4-car garage. They'd be like, oh, but you didn't buy it in Florida. You're gay. You don't have a Midnight Express. I don't want to act like a millionaire. You understand? Even if this channel makes $1 million a year, I'm not going to be acting and flaunting my money. I think that's so off-putting. I think that's weird and goofy and disrespectful to the people that got you there. The people that got you there are your fans. And if you're going to be like flaunting your money on your fans, you're fucking goofy and weird. Correction, you don't like the Puerto Ricans at that track. No, I don't like the Puerto Ricans. Full stop. NA at 550 means big cubes. Big cubes means in the 400s. This is making the comparison to low 300s. Example, white notch 460s, 460 rural horsepower. My notch made 460 rural horsepower on pump gas chilling, and that motor to duplicate it now would probably be $8,000. Like this morning, watch a replay. Georgia is pretty not as much to do as Florida. No. I'm not looking to do shit there. But go there, race, stay a week, come back. Go there, race, stay a week or 3 days. Because the worst thing is this. Driving up there, racing, staying at a hotel, your shit might get stolen. You got to, and then you got to drive back. I'm like, no, I'd rather, if there's going to be multiple events. Guys, there's No Mercy, there's Lights Out, there's Raul is going to hold his own Ford racing thing. There's a lot of racing at South Georgia Motorsports Park. There's a lot of like the I don't know if it's PDRA, but they have a lot of what is it? Streetcar bragging rights, I think, something like that. I would absolutely I want to get racing content back on the channel because when the track was here, I was going every week and I was doing content. So imagine if I go up there, let's say I buy a house, right? Furnish it lightly, nothing crazy, and have a 2-car garage. I'd have to pay somebody to do the landscaping and stuff because I ain't doing that shit. Fuck that. So I got to factor all that in and see what my monthly nut is. And if my monthly nut is about $3,000 to have all that, and I can just drive up there with my car and trailer, race, stay for a day or two, work out of the place, whatever, and then get my ass back to Florida when there isn't any racing happening up there, I could use the house maybe 10 to 20 times a year. Dude, I would, in a heartbeat. Your dad sounds like a Puerto Rican version of bad Leroy Brown. Man, I have so many stories about my dad. It's not even funny. But people won't believe him because they think I'll be like, overstating his masculinity. Again, he was the one that told me never to fight a homo. Because they are mans and womans at the same time. Dropping a like and starting from the beginning. Gulf Coast smells like it's dirty. Pay you 15 and get what you need, right? D'Angelo got to have his Wheaties this morning. APM, my fault. I just want to learn. Didn't know this was a problem. Yeah, you can't spam chats ever because people want a chat that flows a little bit. If you want your comment to stand out, you pay $2. It turns green, and I see it. Finnegan's pad is fucking sweet for a car guy. He said sweat, but I get it. If you've never seen, the entire ground level is his garage. Yes, I saw that. If you want NA, just get a C606, fix the heads, or an 8-speed 6-gen LT1 Camaro. Coyotes cannot compete in A. I 100% agree. And I've been one of those guys that says, if you're fucking with the NA game, the Coyote ain't it. I don't care how big of an ego you got. You maybe, oh no, I got access to a machine shop that really knows their shit. I love seeing posts on Facebook where guys like, yep, just heading to the machine shop with my Coyote. Just got it back from the, like, there's a timeline. Guys, do this. Go back on the timeline of anyone you follow that has a Coyote content, or even has a Coyote, but he's not like a social media person. And this is usually how it goes. Well, blew it up. That's how it goes. I can't wait to drop it off at my local machine shop and see what they can do with their and then they name their machine shop, they tag their machine shop, and then they get the motor back, put it in, it has a knock. head gasket's not sealing. You know? Something happened on assembly. And I'm like, right. FFRE or Ford. FFRE or Ford. Now machine shops are like, oh, shut the fuck up. It's just a motor. Oh, really? Then why'd you fuck it up? Then why'd you fuck up a motor? Isn't Georgia more humid than Florida? I am not going there to live. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. The reason if I was to buy something in Georgia is to have a place to stay while I race and a place so that when the end of the year comes, I don't owe the government all these fucking taxes. I will actually be paying them in interest, and you can deduct the interest on a house on your taxes. So it's about lowering your tax footprint, not avoiding them. I am paying $3,000 a month for a property, and then come tax time, I can offset that on my taxes, and I have a place to stay while I race. Just don't tell anybody. Make a video one day saying I'm making more some trips to SGMP. Maybe. I don't know. I've already told you guys, but I was just looking the other day, and I was like, man, that'd be cool. But then I just say, well, I'm just buying a house for racing? That's stupid. Probably. Has anyone seen the all-wheel drive Mustang? Don't care. Remember, Alex, you have to mow, and you're not Mexican. I don't have to mow shit. I will hire legal Mexicans to do it. Just set up your room like an apartment, right? And for the channel, right? Imagine like the place at the house would be set up like this, and people like, where are you? Does the Paxton 2200 need a fuel pump booster for 85? Cameron Holloway, it needs a fuel system. It needs, well, depends on who your tuner is. Depends on who your tuner is. Smash it devour. I hate rich people who flaunt their money, especially if they're rich because the peasants made them rich in the first place. They should show more damn gratitude and give back when they can. I moved to Georgia for a year from North Carolina. As soon as my lease was up, I went back to North Carolina. Again, you moved there and lived there. I'm not looking to live there. I love it here. South Florida is where it's at, still to this day. Wow, this is contradicting. I don't like tracks. I want to trailer my car to the track and race. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down for you, fuckface. 5 hours, drive to a track. Race, 5 hours back. Buy a house that can probably be sold. Drive to the house. Work, live a normal day, drive to the track after work. 30 minutes. Do my thing. Come back, stay overnight, do the thing, come back to sunny South Florida. Because I can afford to do so. No. Let me drive 5 hours, race, drive 5 hours back, get back here at 4 a.m, work the next. Again, it doesn't have to make sense to you. You're not living my life. You probably do really stupid shit. You probably smoke. You probably drink. I don't even understand that. I mean, why are you drinking? Why are you voluntarily drinking poison and putting it in your body? Don't see me judging you. Why not just move there permanently? You've never been to South Florida, have you? Alex, how are the walls up there at the Georgia track? Asking for a friend. Nice. If you do a dating challenge tonight, you should bumble swipe South Georgia and see what... Oh, I already did. It's really bad. South Georgia is really bad for bitches. A lot of no-time overdrive racing in South Georgia. I would never do that because that is gay as fuck. No-time overdrive racing. The only bad thing about the all-wheel drive Mustang is, who cares? Yeah, you'd lose against a drag racer, Alex. Your pops is right. Yeah, he's like, they don't follow the rules. Like at least if you fight a Mexican, if he knocks you down, he'll back up. Boom, knocks you down, he backs up. Get up, motherfucker. We're doing it old school. Anywhere else, they're getting kicked in the face. Why not get a house up there and Airbnb it? Because I don't want to deal with people. You don't understand. I can afford a house. Let that bitch be empty. I don't ever want to become a landlord. Okay? I don't want fucking strangers in my shit. Okay? That sounds like a fucking nightmare. Jake tried that. Stopped that shit real quick. Coyotes can compete if you're willing to tin can it like a clapped out Honda. Yeah, then it's not the motor. It's why don't just put it on a go-kart. That's racing. Steeda is based out of Valdosta, Georgia. Yeah, they are. I'm on Zillow, and those places in Valdosta are priced pretty damn right. Go to Zillow, put in the price range 275 to 400, put in the keywords 2-car garage, and then no HOA. It's what you get for your money is pretty crazy. I'm gonna look that up today. What do you think about the TRXs and Raptor Rs? Why didn't you choose one of those over the Escalade? I don't like. Okay, TRXs. It's a very simple reason. It's gonna get stolen. It's gonna get fucking. They're gonna follow me to the gym. I go in the gym. All of a sudden, bitch is gone. So it's gonna get stolen. Raptor Rs are $110,000. It's not a great tow vehicle. And then Raptor R owners are gay. So I got an Escalade. But why did I get an Escalade? I wanted initially a Yukon Denali. Why? Because the Yukon Denali's come with the 6.2 and the 8-speed certain years. And then I couldn't find one. Could not find a Yukon Denali anywhere. And then all of a sudden found a Escalade. And I was like, holy shit. An Escalade has a 6.2 and has a transmission I want. But it's an Escalade. So I was like, I don't want that. I didn't want that stigma to be attached. Because, I care. Because I don't, I'm not a douchebag. But, even though I might sound like one, I'm actually low-key and quiet. So I thought a Yukon Denali would have been less douchey than an Escalade. Then I drove the Escalade. I'm like, bitch is badass. I was like, yeah, give me this. And they're everywhere here. They're everywhere. It's every other vehicle is an Escalade, a V, a 600. Like my version came with like a performance package. And then the version after that came with like a performance package. And mine are Uber XLs, like all over the place. They're like the limo that the high-end Uber people use. Well, actually, mine's old. Mine's a 17. So those are gone. But there's so many. So parts are plenty, motors, transmissions, interior parts. I need a new steering wheel because it's kind of flaking. It's just been used and abused a little bit. Suspension components are easy to get. It's the best vehicle Chevy makes, a V8 SUV. So I'm like, yeah, easy. Super easy. John, look, what happened to seeing someone who has some success and then being curious about how to emulate it? Now the successful have to be reserved and at times downplayed and hide their wealth. Well, that's a good question. What happened to seeing someone who had some success and then being curious as to how to emulate it? Now the successful have to be reserved and downplayed because of the negative stigma that's placed on people that have made it. Oh, you're rich, and I'm like, no, it's different if you're born rich. I have absolutely zero respect if you were in a race and you were plopped 10 feet from the finish line, and the guy that started from the start gets to the same place you are. The guy that did it from the start, meaning if he was plopped at the beginning of the race and he somehow works his way to be plopped at the same position someone in a good rich parents or whatever, drop you off closer to the finish line. I respect the guy that raced to that point as opposed to the person that was plopped to that point. Because when you're plopped to that point to finish is not that difficult. Whereas the guy from the beginning probably saw all of the phases it took to get there, right? Imagine you're starting a race and you are at the beginning of the race. How do you feel? You feel optimistic. And then quarter way through the race, you're a little tired. You wonder if you're going to make it. I'm sure it's like that with business or someone who has made it in life, who has progressed in such a way, as opposed to the guy that just shows up and, oh, there it is. Success is easy. I was plopped 10 feet from the finish line. Not a problem. That person gets zero respect from me. And that's how I operate. If you guys see how I operate, I don't give any attention to the people that have had it come to them easy. When someone struggles a little bit and gets after it, and then they act humble. And I respect that more than anything. Just sold a house in North Carolina for $275 with a 30 by 60 shop with a lift just to do it again across town. Atlanta probably has a thriving dating scene. Fuck Atlanta. If you fight a Mexican, you'd be punching down. Hey, yo, because most of them are short. Just get another 1-1 with a 5 garages in Georgia and be the king of 1-1s. Just get a trailer park in Georgia. There's plenty of them there. It's not Super Snake quick. No, that still happens, John Lucas, but I think there's a way to go about it. Alex will end up meeting a redheaded country girl named Tiffany. Oh, bro. That's... And I know you're saying, how come you don't move closer to the Lund? Guys, that place is it's a non-starter. I don't care that it's close to Bradenton. I hate the Bradenton track. I hate everything about it. I hate the people that run it. I hate it, actively hate it. So why would I move closer to it, even if my work is close to it? I do way better remotely. In person, I'm awful. We're talking, we're going to lunch together. Here, I just plop my shit in front of the computer and hammer away at stuff. African Ceiling Bird spotted. Fuck Ford for not putting a Coyote in Navigator and Expedition. I agree. But, whatever. Georgia on my mind, Ray Charles. Yukon Escalade and Suburban's best V8 full-size SUVs. Right. Unfortunately, Chevy fucked up with their new motor, and they've damn near $1 billion to fix those recalls. But on average, every full-size Chevy truck or SUV that I've ever owned, and I've owned many. I owned an old 90 3/4 ton. I owned a 2001 or 2 6-liter 3/4 ton. I owned a couple of half-ton Silverados, and now this Escalade. Knock on wood, I've never had a major issue with any of them. Track house in Georgia sounds like a pretty cool idea. I think if I was single, I would consider living that kind of life, right? I have nothing holding me back. Why can't I imagine this? Get a house up there, furnish it cheaply. Ashley Furniture, just put some shit on there, plop it down, have some guys build it, and then I go up there. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go racing tomorrow after work. They got a test and tune. It's a Wednesday, so I go up there Tuesday night, sleep, work a full day, have internet, have a desk, have the whole 9 yards, have my pup. Have food, have a place, relax. One of the worst things you could do is drive 5 hours and then work to like get the car down, be motivated. You are so mentally wiped out and you don't perform as well. So I'd rather be up there relaxed, go up there, do the test and tune, drive my way back, park the car in the garage, park the truck in the driveway, wake up in the morning like a normal person, work. After work, head down to South Florida. Come on. Oh, man, crazy. Track house and okay. Old money versus new money. Nothing like having your own stuff. See, I think the people think I live their life. And you got to understand, I am by myself. I have zero help. I have zero anything. Jake is one of those guys that helps in everything, but he's got his own family and stuff. And even he has a house in Georgia. Like a beautiful barndominium style house. And he goes there for what? Thanksgiving. He goes there for Christmas. He goes there for July 4th. He goes there for just vacationing. He goes there like 6 or 7 times a year. Because he can. I'm waiting for those GT500s to fall in price almost 2026. That's the other thing, right? A lot of these cars that you guys think are unreliable are because people mod them within an inch of their life. Like I guarantee you, if you got into a 2020 GT500 right now, and you did absolutely nothing to it except put fuel in it and use it for what it's intended to be used for. Cruising, looking good, maybe take it to the track and run 1060s, maybe take it to a track night, slap on a different set of tires for road racing, have a little fun. That DCT is going to be happy. The engine's going to be happy, making 12 pounds of boost with good 93 octane in it. Then you put your regular wheels back on, have it detailed, then you can go cruising. That bitch will last you for years. The problem was when people start putting a 20%, they start putting a 2.4 upper, they start porting the blower, they start putting a lid, they start putting a cold air, they start putting headers, they start putting all this dumb shit, and then the car starts to act up. And you're like, oh, so that car at 700 plus horsepower was fine, chilling, and the moment you started putting aftermarket shit on it, reliability got worse. Successful people want to avoid the must be nice loser mentality. I am proud and happy for my successful friends. Same. Jake, when I see Jake set up, I'm like, good for you. You know what? And he doesn't act rich. He wears regular clothing. He just kind of, his house is humble, but he's got it like that. But he's just super chill about it. And I'm like, that's how you should be. And he hates when people start saying, oh, you got the money. He's not stupid with his money either. Yeah, he spends money on certain things that he needs, but he's not stupid with it. So he's a smart dude. Matt Soba put a Coyote in Expedition. Yeah, he's selling it, actually. Tracolec says, Alan C., if you're all set up to work remote, why not? All the comfort of your own space, no driving to work every day, win-win for the company, to be honest. Yeah, look, I would not work in person. I am not a team player. There are certain moments in life as a man, you want to do your own thing. And the only way I would work in this situation is if I was able to do it by myself. Yeah, I'll go up there and we'll train for a week and get new software and get my computer updated and get all the porn out of it and all this stuff like that. No, nothing wrong with that. And then, but I can't do that every day. Those days are over. I have paid my dues. I have paid my dues and then some. And I'm not going to drive to a place and have camaraderie with people. I hate people. People are stupid. People need to shut up. People talk too much. Like too many words. Too many words are coming out of your mouth. Shut the fuck up. Ford would have made so much money if they would have copied the Hellcat way. I don't know about that. I don't think Ford would have made more money because the money they make are with shit cars. So I don't think they would have made so much money copying the Hellcat way. Bronco Sasquatch, this is an abomination without a coyote in it. Hello, Theo. Just checking in. Was late being a busy peasant. But Alex, why Ashley's furniture? Why not rooms to go? Same, but different. I seen a cute country girl put a dip in her mouth before. Absolutely disgusting. Can't find a shop with the living quarters for cheap. No. Kodan. Okay. I don't think you understand how it is in South Florida. I think you guys think that South Florida is like your neighborhood. South Florida, I would say, is the most expensive, probably Colorado and LA and Sacramento. But I am telling you, what you get for your money here, it used to be okay. Post-COVID, everyone came down here. Then people left because they're like, oh, wait, it gets really hot here. But then they came back. It was weird. So the housing market did this. But it did this kind of in an upward trend. It never went dip. Now, what I'm hoping for the bottom to fall out of a market so that I can be set up to just swoop in and get something. But the problem is this. The taxes are still kind of high here. Property taxes. And I love that people say, Alex, you don't own. You don't own? You don't own? Do you own your property because you have a mortgage? Okay, go ahead and put something up. Put up a building without a permit. Go ahead and make a big addition to your house without going up to the government and asking for daddy's permission. Oh, what's that bill you get in the mail? That is your property taxes. I thought you owned the motherfucker. Who are you paying taxes? I thought you owned the motherfucker. You don't own shit. And then if one day the government's like, you know what? An interstate right through your fucking property better suits the county, eminent domain. This is what your house is worth. Take it or leave it, or we're going to fucking bulldoze it. You don't own shit. Nobody owns shit. Oh, yeah, we do. No, you don't. Or near Palm Beach, I think someone correct me, please. What's happening? Another problem with the GT500 is when you let your tuner take it to the track. Jesus Christ, he is beating that dead horse. What would you do if Lund said you had to come into work office Monday to Friday? That'd be my last day. I'd say thank you, but no thank you. Because the deal was remote. That means the deal changed. And I would say, I love you guys. I love you very much, but I'm not moving up there and I'm not working Monday through Friday from the office. It's just not going to happen because I am better and I have proven that I am better remotely. Installing a Whipple tuner on my mod, is the Whipple tune safe? It's relative. What? 2020 GT500? Dude, why are you installing a Whipple? Whatever. Weirdo. I've always kind of been recluse, so having a property to suit my interests is way more important to the local scene. Besides, once you learn to cook a steak better than most restaurants, fuck them. I don't know about that. I don't think you can cook a steak better than most restaurants here. Not just the property taxes, homeowners insurance and rates too, right? Banks own it technically, sad but true, 10 cents on the dollar. I saw something today saying Lund is running Mustang in cleats, Christmas tree drags. If that's true, I'd be very sad. But again, they're their own people. They're their own people. If they want to run drag races with a bunch of fucking dickheads, they can run it. If they want to be bumping elbows with Motion Raceworks, they can run it. If they want to be in cleats camp, they can do it. They are their own people. It is up to me to determine whether I want to support that or not. And obviously it's going to be a no, right? Like a hardcore no. And you know what? That has nothing to do with work. So if they want to do that, more power to them. But you know how it looks on my end, right? You know how it looks on my end. It's bad. It's really bad. But they're their own people. Alex, you don't think they would have sold more Navigators and Expeditions at least? The Navigator with the Coyote versus the Escalade would have been an interesting comparison. I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. Because who's buying these vehicles? It's not all hot rod guys. It's not all hot rod motherfuckers. It's basically moms. Moms don't give a fuck about power. They give a fuck about how many times do I have to fill it up per month. And guess what they use? 87 octane. Women are retarded. So if you have to make a car for retarded women, why would you put a Coyote with 11-to-1 or 12-to-1 compression in it? It happened before. He stayed here in 2015. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, exactly. That happened. I stayed. Imagine if it was more expensive, shit weather, 6 months a year, tax to death, and full of blue-haired liberals. Welcome to Toronto. I pay $986 a year in taxes for my house. That's 100% cheaper to live than 99%. Yeah, but where the fuck are you? And I bet you have school tax. See, a lot of people say in taxes for my house, that's 100%. Okay, I guarantee there's other taxes attached to that. How much is a rental house in West Palm Beach? $5,000 to $7,000 a month. A piece of shit house, $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And a S197 or S50, don't care. A Coyote would have been more reliable than an EcoBoost SUVs. Yes, but again, reliability and the customer base are two different things. Okay. Who has a wife here? Do you guys have wife? When she drives the car, tell me what she thinks about. It's obviously not the mechanical end of things. She doesn't go, what's that sound? What's that ticking sound? No, they just get in it and expect it to work every single time they put their key in and turn it, and they just like oblivious to everything else. So the only thing they notice is, you know what, honey? I put in $60 Monday, and by Thursday, after taking the kids to soccer, going to Costco, going to this, going to that, I got to fill up again. What changed? Oh, it has a Coyote in it. You know, my other car, I would put $60 in it, and it lasts me 3 extra days. I would suspect that's how a woman talks, because I'm trying to like remove half of my fucking brain. In your opinion, what's the best management system for Coyote swaps? A stock control pack, a control pack. So a Ford Racing control pack or like a Power by the Hour control pack, which is basically a stock control pack. You can live like a king down south, excluding Florida. Diddy is buying a Navigator Edition, paying off the mortgage next month, but I'll still have to pay damn taxes. How much is car insurance? Actually, car insurance is pretty good. I have, how many registered vehicles do I have? 5? Yeah, everything is registered except the Fairmont. Sorry, no. 4. ZR1, GT500, Donnie, and the Escalade. And a month? Dude, they all have full coverage. $400? 486? 486 or something like that. Any issues get relayed to me and I wave my magic wand. Okay. Mechanic wand. Right. Exactly. The wife goes, something's wrong with the... But it's usually the amount of times they have to fill up. Just woke up. They drive. I find all the shit wrong when I drive it on the weekend. She cares about the color of the car and is scared to drive my truck. Exactly. Let's just say here. I mean, if you're looking at an Escalade, you're not peaking at a Navigator or a high trip Expedition or that full-size luxury SUV, or I don't even know what the fuck you're saying. My fiance has 2 Land Rovers. Wow, both V8. She's pretty sharp for the maintenance on them, thanks to my help and teaching her what to look for. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. I mean, women that know a little bit too much about cars are sus. They're a little sus. You got to be careful with women that, because car girls are the worst girls to ever date. I'm just going by experience here. Maybe if they did a cylinder deactivation, it would be worth it. I live in Michigan and my property tax is $96 a year and all the taxes. Michigan. Yeah, fuck. You got other taxes. You got other issues here in Michigan, bro. AKA Iran, Pakistan, India. I agree with that though. The women thing is a big factor. All in for $2,600 for my house. That's with taxes and all. Yeah, Nardi Mercado. Either you've been in a homestead since 1860 because you live in the hood of all hoods. He said Michigan. Say less. Moms care about safety. I guess so. Look, I don't think a V8 Ford SUV is catering to women. But I don't know why a V8 Chevy SUV caters to women. That's weird. Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, I would love a Coyote based Expedition Explorer, but not Explorer, Expedition or Navigator. Michigan, they make you, yeah, exactly. Michigan, they make you pay to live there. Right. It's Michigan. Never mind. He said 986 and Michigan. And they'll say, it's fine here. It's not like the news says. It's not like the news says. It's fine here. Michigan. Bro, on the east side. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying because I live in South Florida, I'm better. I'm just saying nobody is vacationing. Nobody is talking about how Michigan is popping. Like if you get drafted in the NBA draft, right? And you're like, you know, New York because it's a big market. Or if you want to go fucking Miami or Orlando. You know, if you're a young kid and you're like the strip clubs, Miami, Orlando, New York, or LA. And they're like, with the first pick of the NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons pick Alejandro for your fuck. You're stuck. You think Zion Williamson wanted to go to the Pelicans? Oh, bro. Oh, my goodness. Car girls will start Instagramming OnlyFans and go to work for a company that sponsors them and leave you because they're strong and make their own decisions. Chicks, the sound more than you think. Give me that Coyote Expedition. Only date nurses. Don't marry. 100%. Expedition with the Godzilla. At least. Oh, my God. Stop it. Hey, Michigan, how are the Islamic prayer bells and sirens 5 times a day starting at 5 a.m.? I don't think that happens in all of Michigan. But it doesn't happen in Florida yet. I paid 10,000 pesos on taxes in Mexico. Miami is stacked. Look at Tyreek Hill. Michigan is like Demolition Man. Zion eating good, though. Zion was trying to get to the Knicks the whole time. Look, I'm sorry. There's certain parts. If you brag about owning a home and your home right now can go on the market for $275, lower your voice. Lower your voice. Please lower your voice. Like, it is so goofy to me that people that love to hate on this channel, they're like, you don't even have a house. I'm like, bro, you don't even have a house. Like, $275? My garages per month are more than what your mortgage is. Don't forget about escrow shortages. My mortgage went up twice in 2 years. What? I'd say that about Tampa Bay because it's my team, but I wouldn't want to live there. Nobody wants to live in Tampa. Even people in Tampa don't want to live in Tampa. Volvo, semi, truck mechanic says, east side of Michigan is horrible. I live on the west side. That 986 has me in a safe place. Good for you. Theo, I'm willing to work in person. Where can I apply to lunch racing? I pay roughly $400 for the Durango up here. What? For one vehicle? I know your insurance premiums have gone wild for your guys down south, but the past 3 years, we've seen insurance double and triple. Coyote Twin Turbo Motec 1,000 horsepower Expedition. I would love to do some launch control leaving the Publix. I mean, yeah, I would love to see that. I even offered Jake to like, hey, what if I bought an Expedition? Like, isn't it just a boxed in F-150? He's like, yeah, chassis wise. I go, so like the transfer case, everything's in the same spot. It's the same chassis, basically. He's like, yeah. I'm like, why can't you just put a Coyote in one? He's like, why don't you just get an F-150? I was like, because it's an F-150. But if you buy a blown up 3.5 EcoBoost Expedition like Platinum and put a Coyote in it with a blower, he just looked at me and said, that's fucking stupid. Then he went on and then he went on to put a twin turbo Voodoo in a 96 Cobra. Like, he doesn't make sense. He's actually driving it out. He's texting me. He's like, oh, it hooks great. Perfect traction with new tires. Second gear pull to 8,000 and everything looks pretty good. Alex, you're so stupid. You want a Coyote swap and Expedition? By the way, I put a twin turbo Voodoo in a 96 Cobra. Fuck you talking about, bro? Doesn't the water come out on fire? Oh, fuck. Doesn't the water come out on fire out of the faucet in Michigan? Michigan sucks, but it ain't Detroit. Most is farm and swamp. You're right about that. Taxes go up. Escrow goes up with the mortgage. Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? He pays that much because of the car gets stolen. Matt Sopa has swapped Coyotes in the Expedition. Someone said that already. If Senior starts doing two-step checks every 5 minutes, then we know something is up. That's what they're probably not. That's why they're probably not telling me anything. And like, yeah, we're gonna do the Christmas tree race. I'm like, okay. Look, the Lunds are their own people. Okay, I don't have to support any of their racing programs. That's not the job. The job is to make tunes, and that's it. So if they want to go racing with Cletus, they want to fucking go flying with Cletus, they want to go fucking butt buddies with Motion Racework, they can. They're not me. They are not me. They're their own people. They have agency over their own lives. Whether I support it or not is a completely different ballgame. But again, it's not a threat. I don't support their current racing. I don't want them to go racing. I think there's no money in racing. I think we should just build badass stuff that's relatable to the business. But they want to do what they do, and that's their right. It's up to me to support it or not. That's it. Just get an F-150 with a camper shell. Right, that's basically what he said. He's like, why would you do that? I was like, I don't know. See, he doesn't realize that I have a channel. And the channel needs content. So he just like forgets that. He thinks these are my personal cars and no. I wouldn't have a Collier. I wouldn't have the GT500. I would probably have a notchback and like a nice SUV, and I'd live my life in a happy way if I didn't have any kind of social media presence. Wow, cheap insurance. I have 2 Coyotes, 2022, and pay $400. Absolutely clean record, 48 years old. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let me look up my insurance. A lot of people are wondering, Progressive. I have Progressive. So I want to see what my bill is. Looks like you took a break. No, I didn't take a break. I'm right here. Oh, I didn't sign in a while. Okay, biometrics, sure. You want saliva? This fucking thing wants everything. Oh my God, a 2-digit, 2-step verification process. Oh my God. So I'm going to look up I think I get billed quarterly or monthly. Let me see, billing and payments. Payment schedule. Auto. Yeah. So actually it's less. This is crazy. Again, guys, I have the Escalade full cover, the S197, the 13 Auto S197 full cover because I owe on it, the GT500 full cover, and the Corvette full cover. And I don't know. Can you see that? Can you guys see that at all? Let it sit there for a little while. Can you see that at all? Let me see. Damn it. Is there a way I can let me see if I can lower the let me see. There it goes. It says, damn it. It is so fucked up. Anyway, it's $390. Damn it. There it is. $390. So I pay do it again. $390. That's every month I get billed $390. I thought it was $460. It's actually $390 a month for 4 vehicles, full cover. So I don't know. Michigan made weed legal. That is the downfall of every single state. Repeal the 19th. Abso-fucking-lutely. Women should not vote. Every single state that legalizes marijuana, the devil's lettuce, absolutely goes to shit. Yeah, that's pretty damn good, right? $390. I pay $390 a month for 4 cars, full cover. And I got caught doing 130 miles an hour, and it paid $1,100, and I had to do, schooling and all this dumb shit. Yeah, crazy. Damn, I got same insurance company, and I almost paid that for 2 cars, 4 cars, Florida. So it's pretty good. Mine's like $350 for two full coverage cars, but I got my record cleared 5 years ago. Progressive gives a huge discount if you pay in full for 6 months. Oh, okay. I'd do it. It's automatic. I don't even see it. Let's go. Massachusetts got worse when they legalized it a few years ago. You know these fucking retards that would tell you, if they just legalized marijuana, we wouldn't have any debt. Well, guess what happens, dipshit? Now it becomes a business. So now these dispensaries get corporate business, and they set up these shops everywhere. It's not like drug dealers can sell it out of their apartment still. No, they have to get licensed. They have to get this, and that. And then you get like varying amounts of it becomes a culture of getting high and slackers and easy to get it. And you know what they do? They fucking do it in your face. Look, it's legal. I could still punch you in the fucking mouth. You blow fucking smoke in my face. Some guy with a cigarette does that shit. There's going to be a problem. If someone smokes in the fucking hallway, I'm like, hey, go to a park, dipshit. So every state that's legalized marijuana ever has gotten worse as a state. Every single fucking time. That's a loser drug. It's a loser. There's no, what product? Tell me the last time you said, let me take a puff of weed so I can get after it. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to smoke some weed before the gym. No, it's like, life sucks. My girlfriend dumped me. I got some anxiety. I can't sleep. Shut the fuck up. Grow up. You're an adult. Weed is legal here. Weird flex. Yeah, right. It is a weird flex. Yeah, the Durango's over $6,000 a year. What the fuck? The stupid people vote to legalize weed, and the Pikachu face when everything goes to crap. You'd probably be $900 for insurance in Miami. Yeah, I'm in Palm Beach County, and all of them are in a garage. All the cars are in garages. Nobody likes the smell of loud. Weed is legal in Illinois, and it sucks smelling it everywhere. Can't even go into public without smelling it. What's worse is I live next to Worcester. Bro, what a shithole. Illinois made weed legal, and I haven't heard anything about where the money is going, but still have the budget deficit of $267 million. I thought you guys were in Indiana. Oh, that's Josh Werner. I thought it was Josh Lucas. I love this culture of cigarettes bad, but weed and alcohol good. Right. So dumb. You drink alcohol? You smoke cigarettes? Douchebag. And people that go, oh, it's a plant. So it's a tobacco plant. No, but they put other shit in it. They don't put shit in weed. You sound like a liberal. Maintaining success ain't easy. Don't respect sacrifice. What the fuck are you talking about? Loser drug. Ever since they legalized weed here, it's been going downhill, says JD Swag. It's just stupid people saying it relieves stress. Stress is a motivator, right? I like stress. Because I worry about where my next paycheck is coming from. Every day I wake up and I look at the analytics. I'm like, how can I be doing better? How can I make more money? How can I get after it? That stress, if you funnel it to being something productive, it's a superpower. It's a good thing. But some of you go, oh man, you have debilitating stress and you don't want it in your head anymore. So I want to smoke something and feel good. Give me my binky. Fuck you. Grow up. Become a man. I was just about to say, I hate people that say smoking before gym helps them. I can smell while driving from vehicles ahead. I'm not going to lie. It does numb the nerves, but on my lifts above 500, ask me how I know. It's off season, so no anti-doping testing here. Anything goes. Imagine if you didn't do it. Imagine how good you'd feel if you didn't put smoke in your lungs. Because that's natural, right? That's natural. That was intended for the human body. Smoke. You know, I think it's fine to light something on fire and inhale it because the body is meant to inhale smoke. Unreal. It is an addiction. And they say it's not an addiction and it's a gateway drug because once you're done getting high on that shit, you need something stronger. They need something stronger. They need something stronger. And all of a sudden you're sucking dick in an alley for some heroin. So suck my dick. All right. I'm out of here. So today we talked about some car stuff. how some aftermarket parts are not as reliable as OEM parts. Then we talked about flock cameras potentially being a ace in the hole for Tennessee with WhistlinDiesel. And then we talked a little bit about everything else, property taxes, weed, and a whole bunch of other things, which is the best part about the Peasant Chat. We talk a little bit about everything every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Tonight, I might do a dating channel. I might kick that on because I've seen a lot of comments. I've seen a lot of people, and I have a lot of things to say. I'm not on Bumble anymore, so I might just open an account just to do Bumble swipes because I don't want to be out there actively looking on Bumble because it's just a waste of time and a waste of money and a waste of energy. But hopefully I'll get to upload a video showing you some of the throttle body stuff that I'm going through right now with the GT500, taking apart a Kenny Belt 168, replacing the gears with plastic gears. Interesting little stuff to look at. Car shipped, so hopefully be on the lookout for that video. Hopefully today at 6 or so. I'll do my best to get it up and running. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for Talking Shit Tuesday. See you later. Bye.